Excellent. Brilliant. Well, welcome everybody to today's An Audience With session. I'm joined today with Nikki Griffin from Voiceworks. We're going to be talking a bit about how Nikki runs her Rockschool private exam day and how she's using the Rockschool vocal syllabus. So I thought I'd just start by just talking a bit about RSL and what we're all about. So obviously we're a leading contemporary arts awarding body. We operate in over 48 countries across the world. And we're really the leading cutting edge in different qualifications, which you can see here on your screen. So we have 5 brands. So we have the Rockschool brand, which is graded examinations from debut to grade 8 across vocals, guitar, bass, drums. And then we have the vocational qualifications, which is equivalents to GCSEs and A levels. We have centres across the UK delivering these as well. We also have PAA, which is Performance Arts Awards. So these are graded exams in things like musical theatre, acting, street dance, jazz dance, and screen acting. And we work with lots of different organisations such as Stagecoach who deliver these qualifications in their practice. We also have creative qualifications. So these are the world's first graded examinations in podcasting and vlogging. So it's 100% online assessment and can be a great addition to your extracurricular activity or classroom activity as well. And then finally, we have the RSL Classical, which is graded examinations in classical piano and also classical violin as well. So with Rockschool, there's 2 different exam types. We have the performance certificate, which is where students will play 5 pieces, and 3 of which can actually be free choice as well. We then have the graded music exam, where the candidate would perform 3 pieces, 2 of which can be free choice. And then we also have the other supporting tests. So we have the technical exercises, the sight reading or interpretation and improvisation, the ear tests, and the general musicianship questions. And then exam options, we have options to your exams in a face-to-face environment. So this can be done at your local public exam centre, or you can run a private exam day if you are a teaching organisation or a school. And then we also do online exams. So we can do these via recorded digital, live streamed. And then we also do have coursework submissions for music production, vlogging and podcasting, and also online exams with music theory. And then quickly on our vocal syllabus, so this is our new refreshed syllabus, which we recently launched. So it's a brilliant a repertoire which we have in here from different artists across the board. And you can access this for free as a teacher on our learning platform, or you can also paid subscription as a student. They are also available in hard copy format and also digital as well. Brilliant. So I'm just going to stop sharing my screen now. So welcome, Nikki. Thank you very much for joining myself today. Really pleased to see you here. I thought I'd just start off by telling us a bit about Voiceworks and how Rockschool fits into your teaching practice in Ireland.
Yeah. So we're Voiceworks Studios, and we're one of Ireland's only contemporary based vocal schools. And we have an amazing staff of 10 at the moment, with teachers specializing in every contemporary genre we could imagine. We operate both online with online lessons all worldwide, and we operate mainly then in our Cork city base for in-person lessons. And we really found that Rockschool was the perfect fit for us for being a contemporary focused school. Like you are one of the only contemporary focused exam boards that we found. And just in general, when you're looking for an exam board, if you are contemporary based and you're getting the other exam boards that we were looking at, you'll get a mix of contemporary, light classical, a bit of everything with musical theatre. But I found working with you and with Rockschool, because it's all contemporary genre, the goal setting just becomes totally clear for the students. The grade outlines they're like marked rungs in the vocal ladder, that by the time the student gets grade 5, they know exactly their capabilities and what they've achieved in that amount of time. So I just feel like everything's very clear, very well paced, and it really works with our ethos as well.
Brilliant, thanks, Nikki. And maybe just a bit about the value of doing Rockschool exams. Do you find it helps with student retention? And obviously you get the UCAS points at level 3 as well. So maybe just a bit about the key benefits which you're And obviously you recently
Yeah,
had your private exam session as well.
we did. We just had our first exam session after COVID. So our first like face to face in a couple of years, 2 weeks ago. And I think as a student to do exams it's a brilliant opportunity. If you're somebody that's not taking it, you want to take it more seriously, you want more structure and more flow and a bit more, a bit of kick up the bum to practice more. And for us as a school, it's brilliant. Student retention wise, definitely, there's a really clear program being outlined for them, because when you are dealing in the arts, it can be very hard to structure lessons to the individual. So I feel like Rock School gives just a very, very clear guide of what they've done in their time with you, and if they complete their exam, they have a very, very clear outline of everything they've achieved. Yeah, we find them brilliant.
Excellent. And then also, how do your students and teachers currently access the Rock School books? Do they access them in hard copy, or is it digital copy as an option, and as well as the learning platform?
Yeah, so at the moment, we were a little bit old school this year. We were all using physical copies of the book, but it was actually our students started the innovating in getting e-copies for themselves. I never thought about it before, but you can put an e-copy on a Kindle, and that was a bit of a game changer for me. I thought that was really genius. So we were tending to use the e-copies and hard copy books this year, but with the launch of the learning platform, like that totally looks like something we're going to explore this year going forward into 2023.
Brilliant. Excellent. And maybe just talking a bit about the private exam days. So as an organization, obviously what we do, we would send an examiner to you at any point throughout the year. So maybe just some of the benefits around that, having that sort of, the student is used to their environment where their teaching is taking place. So it's not as scary, going to another environment. So maybe just some benefits around that, which you found useful.
Yeah, definitely. And that's probably one of the biggest benefits, is the fact that the student knows the building, they know how to get there, like the commute isn't difficult, they're there on time. And for students who are nervous, especially, being able to show them the exam room and go, this is where the exam is going to be held, the examiner is going to sit here, you're going to sing here, and even being able to host a mock exam in that room is brilliant. And for us as well, to have the exam day picked for all of our students and to have them all going on the same day, there's a great teaching atmosphere in the school because everyone's working towards the same week. I feel like our teachers get a lot closer because all of the questions we're asking with students to each other, like, oh, this Rock School exam, this student doing this song, and for advice, everything's culminating towards the same timeline. So I really enjoyed having them, because we've done them online with you before, where students have had separate exam days, kind of depending on when they sign up. But having our like little mass day was brilliant, really, really great.
Brilliant. And then maybe just an overview of how so obviously you recently had your private exam day. So maybe just an overview how you currently arrange and coordinate that. So obviously with Rock School, you get your allocated exams officer who works with you to book that in. And any maybe useful best practice advice for any centres who are looking at running an exam day in the future?
Yeah, so we emailed you on the, I think, the info at RSL Awards. I think that was where we first got in touch with you to book this day. And I was dealing with Lucian, who was brilliant. He just asked us what weekend worked with us. And I believe we were booking her in March, and we chose the first weekend of June. So we left quite a wide gap in terms of organizing, which suited us quite well, because I felt like the hardest thing I was nervous of organizing was getting students to commit to the exam day, so that I wasn't putting forward to the centre like, yeah, we're going to have 30 kids, and by the time the date gets announced to parents and everything, it's down to 20. So we left plenty of time to organise. We booked the exam day with you and gave you provisional kind of student number on what we hoped to have there. And then within about 2 and 3 weeks, we were able to confirm with all students that yeah, your exam is going to take place this day. And then we got a list off you with rooms, or the equipment list, what needed to be done for each exam room. And again, we got these in plenty of time and they were super clear, very easy to follow. It was just a case of making sure you have an examination room, waiting room, meeting room, or I should say warm-up room, and that there's somebody on your staff for the day to come in and handle the liaising with the examiner and bringing students in and out. We found it like very, very easy. And I feel like when students are booking individually and going in for exams in other places, you feel a little bit out of control to the way the exam is going to go for them. But I felt like we really felt that the student was totally settled going in because we had all of the details ourselves and we're able to work with the students with time commitments and everything. So found them brilliant, to be honest. Just leaving a lot of sufficient time, I feel, was key, especially if it was your first time booking. It was easily done though, in fairness, about 2 weeks of actually organising and liaising, even though we left 3 months to do it. But
Brilliant. Thanks, Nikki. That's really great to hear. And maybe just a bit about how you advertise or communicate your exam day when you've got the date booked in Rockschool, how you communicate it to your parents and students to say, you know, this is your exam day. And like you said, you can then build on doing mock exams around that, leading up to it, doing sort of preparations with your venue, for example, setting up the exam rooms and the practice rooms, things like parking and equipment, all quite important things as well to think about.
Totally. And I think with organizing the building and things, the most important thing was to get a day that the building was going to be quiet. And I think that's where all our organizing had to go, that there'd be no interruptions, and just allocating time to get all of the equipment and to get everything set it up. But in terms of advertising to our parents, we would kind of have an idea of who is looking to take a Rockschool exam through the student working with their teacher. Because it's not everyone is in the place of doing the exam either yet, or maybe not at all, maybe they're too busy gigging. So we'd have an idea of who wanted to do them depending on the relationship with the vocal coach. We'd get the list off the vocal coach of students, and we were actually communicating mainly via email and phone calls. We didn't do much in-house advertising on socials or everything for them, just as all of our students' goals are very student-centered, and we found it best to go directly to the parent and student.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
Maybe what do you ask your students to bring with them to their exam day? Any specific things you ask?
So we ask them mainly to bring like the number one for a singer. I feel like if they don't have a bottle of water in their hand, they're stressed about not having a bottle of water in their hand. So we actually have a little checklist that goes out to them in an email the week before, just with everything we advise. Their Rockschool music printed, even if it is not the free choice, even if it is the book, whether they're using the ebook, we ask them to print the music for everything, just in case they're nervous of lyrics on the day. If they have their book, to bring their book. If they have a Kindle with their ebook, bring that and practice in the warm-up room with everything. And what we've started doing is actually having that checklist from the pre-examination checklist. We get everybody to either have that printed or filled in their book with their starting notes and their pieces in order. And that way then they're not forgetting anything going in. I found that checklist in the books this year was the best thing for everyone.
Yeah, I think that's a new addition, is it, with the new vocal syllabus, having that checklist. I know when I was teaching guitar, just having that as a really helpful to have. Definitely.
Yeah, and even in the lead up of doing the mock exams, like you can even structure their practice off this checklist. It's like, right, today we covered the scales and the arpeggios. Work on those. I'm going to see those again, whatever date. And that little sheet was a lifesaver.
Brilliant. And maybe just a bit about, I think you mentioned a little bit about, the mock exams and those sorts of things. And I know leading up to the exam day, you sort of have increased practice to, really go through the final sections of the pieces and the different supporting tests as well. And maybe just how you maybe help your students deal with nerves before and during their exam as well. I know at Rockschool we do have blogs about this, which you can find on our website.
Yeah, the blogs are brilliant, by the way. They definitely we do tend to go from the blog for a lot of advice for the students. It's very clear. With mock exams, we will have a couple in their lessons. So I myself as a teacher tend to use, like, if they're going from January until June and that's their exam period to learn everything, a couple of miniature mock exams in between, just every month or so, a little check-in with everything they've done and letting them know where they're going in terms of marking, in terms of their goals, I find is brilliant. And even just to get them used to the exam structure of, okay, let's sing your song and I'm not going to interrupt you, and I'll let you know how you got on afterwards, and even running the three of them in order, etc. In Voiceworks as well, we offer performance opportunities for our students, and we usually have two before the exams kind of coming up, like the March and May, and then the exams we usually do in June. So a lot of our rock school students will already have two of their rock school pieces performed to an audience that it alleviates a lot of the pressure as well. And even getting them to perform for their family and friends, I find, is the most important thing. They have all the tracks in terms of like pressing play for the A major scale and doing it with the metronome, and just seeing how someone outside of music reacts to them gigging. That's when you're going to get the people who are going to look the other way, not be looking at you at all. And I think you get used to every exam scenario when you're dealing with your family, because everyone's so different. And we, for nerves and things, we do try, like with that whole process of things, to try and eliminate the nerves before they go in, or to even practice with their nerves. So the opportunities with performing, with singing for their family, and being able to show them the room, and even having the mock exam in the room the week prior to the actual exam is brilliant, so that they're comfortable on the day. And then one or two that we all kind of tend to gravitate to in terms of practicing with your nerves is, if you're somebody whose heartbeat is going to accelerate massively when you're nervous, run up the stairs and then sing your rock school music. Practice it with your heartbeat already gone, so that by the time you go in the exam, if your heartbeat's going, you can sing with that, and you can keep at it,
Brilliant. No, excellent. That's some really good points there. And then finally, just a couple of questions around our Rockschool digital exams. I don't know if any of your students have looked or entered for any of these potentially over lockdown, and how they find that. Obviously, we have the recorded video where they record their pieces and upload them. Also, we have a live streamed option as well.
Yeah, we actually had students taking part in both. Over lockdown, it was really tough when we fully moved online for the first time, because some of our students wouldn't have the internet capabilities of others. And the fact that they could record an exam and not be stressed about the internet dipping mid-exam was brilliant. And that was a brilliant option for a lot of them. I found it, like, for them, it's definitely for a certain personality type. With the pre-recorded exams, if you're a perfectionist, I had a student spending hours wanting the perfect recording. But I think it's a good lesson to learn that, like, she had to, if the exam is 30 minutes long, there's going to be a hiccup at some point in 30 minutes. And it was brilliant for her to have to record it at home and realize that and submit. And we had a couple as well who did the actual face-to-face exams online via Zoom, and they did very well as well. And it's a very similar structure to our lessons, so I feel like it carried over online very easily. And we still have people, even though they're welcome to come into Cork City, that they've actually decided the online option suits them more, with the comfort of their own home and just a little bit more freedom in picking their examination date, since we have the in-person set up ourselves.
Yeah, no, excellent. I think it just gives them a bit more flexibility on their preference for that, and it's great that you can have that blended across the student base. So that's great. Brilliant. Well, thanks, Nikki, for joining us today. And just finally, are there any other Rockschool qualifications? I know vocals is one of your main ones that you currently deliver at Voiceworks, but potentially if there's any other instrumental grades that you would offer students, or things like music production you might be interested in the future, which we could look at. And we also do have professional diplomas as well.
Yeah, the professional diplomas, we've done, I think two of our students in the past have done them, and we'd love to offer them on a more regular basis because we work with a lot of professionals or semi-pros or hopeful pros, and I think that having that option is amazing for them. It's very similar to like I went to music college. It's very, very similar to the process of an actual performance exam in a college as well. So I think definitely the performance diplomas we'd love to do more on, as well as the production looks like a brilliant offer for singers to go and find as well, because I think that's the way the music industry is going. It's all self-produced, and we'd love to offer more of those. We have a couple that will do piano exams, but I'm not sure, is our school more instrumental led as of now. But oh my God, I had no idea you had the podcasting classes. So maybe I'm going to sign up for one of those.
Yeah, brilliant.
So cool.
Yeah, that's great. Great. Well, thanks so much, Nikki. That's brilliant to speak with you today and to learn more about your practice. And yeah, thank you very much. And we'll see you again soon. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you.
Thanks.